Well, this gave me a headache. Anyway, welcome back. It's me, 1000 Games 1 Gamer, also known as the Captain, and as you can see, today we're doing handguns. Not just pistols, not just machine pistols, and not just revolvers, but all three. Basically anything that's a handgun, I'm going to rank. And that includes the Sass, even though it's under other, I still decided to include it. So, the same rules as my previous video with the assault rifles. How good they are, number one. Number two is how fun they are. And number three is not that important, but it's basically this last category, aka nerf. Basically, all the tryhards when you see them use it, and then you use it, and then you don't use any other gun. That's basically the third rule. So, just like with my previous, again, I played with all of these guns. I got my hands on... well, the ones I didn't unlock, I didn't because nobody uses secondaries. So yeah. And secondly is, some are just too high rank, honestly. I have no idea why. Without further ado, let's break YouTube again, shall we? And starting off, we have the 1858 New Army. It's pretty good, but it doesn't feel as good as it used to. And let me explain. Before the fan, basically you press T and you could fan it, it doesn't feel as fast anymore. You can't just, fan it and like shoot all your shots and get to the guy. But that might just be me. 93R. Unironically, it's pretty damn good. Like, it's good even though burst sucks as a fire mode in Phantom Forces. But with that in mind, it's still pretty damn good. It's not S tier, because burst, obviously, but it's pretty damn good, I'm not going to lie. Now, next we have the AF 2011 A1. And I never saw this gun being used, even when it was released. Since 2018, since I started playing Phantom Forces, I haven't seen one person use this. So honestly, I have no idea what to say. Give me a second.
2 seconds later.
I'm back and we have the new tier, have not seen it used, which will be the standard from now on, because these guns, either I have seen it once or never. And this combined with, let's put all the guns I haven't seen. So the AF 2011, the Alien, and this is, I have no idea, but I haven't seen it, and this thing. So, what are they? Well, the M 2011, the GSP, the Alien. Again, I haven't seen anybody use these guns in like 4 years, which is a shame because they seem very fun. And now onto the next one, the AM3, which is again pretty damn good. It's mostly for longer ranges, even though close range it can still be useful, but the fire rate hinders it. But for the most part, it's pretty damn good. It's mostly I use it for sniping because it's just so satisfying. The arm pistol. Okay, so if you're willing to spend credits or a lot of times getting attachments for the arm pistol, it can be quite memey and quite good. But here's my but. Not my actual but as a standard, anything beyond 20-30 studs, you're not hitting anything unless you're firing in bursts. Even then, it's not really worth it. So I'm putting it in C because of that. But don't get me wrong, it can be pretty good if you're willing to grind or just buy the attachments for it. The next, we have the ASMI. And this is big dick energy, because it's basically an SMG as a secondary. And is it strong? Compared to everything else in this, with few exceptions, yes. With the normal primary weapons, no, not really. You can still do work with it, but for the most part, not really. Desert Eagle 19. Now you see this gun mostly being used by tryhards who just go for heads and one shot, but I'm willing to discard it because it's the Deagle. Come on, it's the Deagle, and it has somewhat a low fire rate, so if you're not good at hitting headshots, you can still kill somebody with it, don't get me wrong, but for the most part, in A tier, also because it's pretty damn good stat-wise. Now, the Executioner, if I'm not mistaken, it's either this or, no, I think it is the Executioner that is a shotgun revolver. And because of that, it's going into S tier. Because it's it's a meme gun, in all honesty. The same with this. So Executioner and Judge, both in S tier, they're pretty damn good if used close range. But besides that, they're revolver shotguns. Come on, it's pure meme energy. Now, we have the FN57. I remember when this got released, and it still is. It was, and it still is pretty damn good. It's not a machine pistol, the 93R, but it's fast fire rate, pretty damn good accuracy, and pretty decent damage, with a pretty decently sized mag size. So it's A tier. It cannot compete with S tier yet, but still. Glock 17. F tier. Okay. Reason for F tier. I used it and it's shockingly disappointing. It doesn't do that much damage. It has accuracy, which is kinda its only good thing, but besides that, not good damage, decently fast fire rate, so there is that, but for the most part, you can use any of this, or any of these guns, and you will still do better than with the Glock 17. It's like literally, oh no, he is at 10 health, so I'm going to use it. Even then, you might not get them. The Glock 18C, on the other hand, is a brute machine. And while it's strong, at longer distances you won't be hitting stuff. So this is close range. If you're a sniper, you can use it as a secondary if in case somebody sneaks up on you, and you can basically mag dump them and kill them in a second. Besides that, it's very fun to just brute. Glock 21. It's a D tier. It's not Glock 17, but they're just better G's out there, my G. Because honestly, I used it and I was very disappointed in it. G23 on the other hand, okay, I'm putting it on top of S tier, and this is my one per video bias check that I can just cash in and put any gun I really like in any spot, or in this case S tier. And the reason is, it's heavily underrated. Like, it's has a decent fire rate, pretty damn good accuracy, good damage over range and good damage overall, and it's the only secondary besides the Saiga 12U that I spent credits on. That's saying something. You don't spend credits on secondaries unless it's like a Sass or a Grizzly or Deagle, because those are the meta weapons and they're pretty damn good. If you spend credits on them, they're even better. G23 on the other hand, slap a extended magazine, HK sight, HK backup sight that is, and a silencer, and it's just pure fun. I am not even mad if I get killed while using that, while using the G23, because it's heavily underrated. Would I say it's OP? No. Is it hella fun? Abso-fucking-lutely. But that brings us onto G40. And G40 is pretty damn good. The same with G50. And basically, how would I say this? How would I put this in? So, G40, you get more mag size, you get faster fire rate, I think. Not sure, would have to check that up. But bigger mag size, but lower damage than the G50. G50, more damage, I think slightly slower fire rate than the G40, and a smaller mag size. And that's kinda it, honestly. You just, do you want to deal more damage, or do you want to fire faster with more bullets? It's, you're choosing. They're not a big level, but they're pretty damn good. GB22. Okay, so where should I put this? Because there are conversions for it that make them... Okay, let me rephrase this. GB22. Okay. GB22 has a 10 times headshot multiplier, which is fucking bananas. You can, across maps, if you hit people in the head, you will one-shot them, which is pretty damn memey. But, from what I've seen, I have hit people with it in the head, across the map, and they didn't immediately die. Maybe they took like half health damage that is, but like, if you're using this as a normal pistol, don't. I managed barely to get like 1 kill, and that's it. There is a 50 GI conversion, which makes it much better if you're using it as a normal pistol, but for the most part, use headshots, and if you don't, it's a D tier. Actually, it's an F tier. But with conversions, it's easily B or A, or if you hit headshots, it's easily S tier. But if you're using it as a normal pistol, it's F tier, and that is my reasoning. If you have any complaints about this, leave it in the comments below, immediately after you like and subscribe, you know. But we're moving on to the big dick energy weapons, which doesn't include the Grizzly, because we're gonna get to that very soon. But first, we have the GL-M1 big dick energy. It's basically a G50, but it's an M1911 G50. If you like the G50, you're going to like this. If you like the M1911, you're going to like this more. Actually, I'm going to put it above the G family, but yeah. Grizzly, nerf, and there's a reason for this. It has a conversion, I've checked, that basically makes it a one-shot kill upwards to 30 or 40 studs, which may not seem a lot considering it has a fire rate of 350. But let me rephrase this. Minus shotguns, which other weapon has a fire rate of 350? Not even some shotguns, I think, or any of them have that high fire rate. So yeah, it needs a nerf, and the only people I see it being used by are tryhards and smurfers. Please nerf it so stylists, please. Just nerf it so that those people rage. Next, we have Gyrojet. And this is a funny weapon. You see, normally with weapons, the longer a bullet goes, the less damage it deals in Phantom Forces. Makes sense. Gyrojet, on the other hand, the longer the bullet goes, the more damage it does, because it's a rocket-propelled gun. Even though IRL, the reason why it didn't work is because it basically failed at every aspect it wanted to do, and you know, it shouldn't work that well. But I don't see people use it, so I have no idea. Give me a 45 long slide. So, hardballer. It's basically an AM3 but faster fire rate. I'm going to put it in B tier because it does lack accuracy and damage of the AM3, but it makes it up with fire rate. But for the most part, you want your handguns to be accurate. Where you fire, there should not be that much deviation, especially close range. Meanwhile, this, good luck. So that's my point of view, at least. Okay, I'm going to butcher this name. Ijevsk PB, which is a marker of PM, but with an integral suppressor. Highly accurate, decent fire rate and decent damage, but it's going into B tier. Reason is that fire rate. It's decent, but it's like, what, 350 compared to the Makarov, which will... Stay tuned, it's very close. But it's not next on the list. Next on the list is the KG 99, and unironically it slaps. I didn't expect it from a semi-auto Tech 9, but it's pretty damn good, not going to lie. I think you can turn it into full auto, but I'm not 100% sure on that, so don't quote me on it. And the next is Scorpio. So, the reason why it's going into S tier because it's kinda iconic, and I'm going to put it next to the ASMI because it's pretty damn good. At longer distances, not so good. Upwards to medium distances, on the other hand, the stock version, pretty damn good. The 9x18mm, also pretty damn good. The only reason I use it because I get 10 more bullets and faster fire rate in a magazine. And that's kind of the only reason. More DACA for me. But the next, it's a classic. The M1911A1. It's pretty damn good. But they're better. I would say it's better than the Kuga 99. But for the most part, they're better guns, obviously. The M45A1, the same category as the M19A1, but it's not as classic as the M19A1. It's still pretty damn good, so I'm going to give it that. The Makarov PM, on the other hand, think this way. Okay? Think Ijevsk, but you have slightly the tiniest bit worse accuracy, but you have double the fire rate, so... and more damage. I'm putting it in S tier. Is it OP? No, not really. Is it pretty damn good and fun to use? Yes. Just like our next gun, the Matiba 6. A big iron on your hip. I'm going to put it like right here. It's accurate, fast fire rate, and fast reload. Speaking of fast fire rate, the Micro Uzi. I used this a little when it came out and it was horrible. I remember it being close range good, but anything beyond like 10-20 studs not good. Now it's way better, and I'm going to put it I think above 5.7 just because fire rate. Yeah, but again, speaking of fire rate, yet again we have the machine pistol M1911, or machine pistol 1911, which is in here, but I'm going to put it at top of A tier, maybe even bottom S tier. The only reason is fast fire rate, decent accuracy, but your bullets disappear. And that's kind of why I am thinking more top A tier, because you run out of bullets with this gun extremely fast. Bonus points for having a 9mm conversion just to piss off Americans. But next on our list is the Red Hawk 44. The true big iron on your hip. It's not fast fire rate as Matiba 6 if I'm not mistaken, but it's still a big iron. So I'm going to put it above Matiba because it's a big iron. M9. Okay, you know, remember how I said Glock 17 pretty bad? I would put the M9 in the same spot, but I'm going to put it in C tier. Reason: it's not as good as B, A, or S tier of handguns, that is, but it's hilariously good at accuracy. Okay, let me rephrase that entire sentence. What I'm trying to say is, it's hilariously, extremely accurate. 20 round mag and very fast fire rate, but at the expense of damage, but not that much. That's why I'm putting it in C tier, because it's just better Glock than, it's better than the Glock 17. It's a better Glock than the Glock, okay? PP2000, again, machine pistol, put it up here. It's a secondary SMG, but it's not Mimi as the ASMI. Next on our, oh shit, fuck. This is the MP Rex. This is the Red Hawk 44. Oops. So yeah, MP Rex or MP412 Rex is in the same category as a Matiba 6. Okay, but Red Hawk 44. This is the Red Hawk 44 with the flashlight. I'm mistaken it, sorry. But yeah, that's the big iron, which I want to get the 45 a long Colt for sniping, because I think it will be just Mimi. It will be big iron on my hip. And very Mimi. Speaking of Mimi, Tech 9. But intensifies. Not going to say much more. Now, I'm going to skip this next gun for a little while for the next two, and I'm going to have it at the end. Okay, so Desert Eagle L5. I'm going to put it in S tier because it's heavily underrated. It has twice the fire rate of the Deagle 19 and the less damage. Like 20 less damage and I think less multiplier. But again, almost twice the fire rate. Which also makes it a little bit less inaccurate, so if you see somebody use the L5 at somewhat longer ranges, you cannot be mad at him. Because it's pretty damn strong, not going to lie. But again, anything at longer distances you cannot just hip orb spam fire, that is. You cannot just rapid fire it at longer distances, and that's why it's not getting into nerf territory. It's close though, honestly. If it was more accurate, it would need a nerf. But now as it stands, it's pretty damn good. The Sass 308. Okay, how should I say this? It has kind of the GB22 effect, but way worse and not in a good way. The GB22, you need to aim for heads if you want that 10 times head multiplier. But besides that, if you have the 50 GI conversion, you have 1 shot, 2 shot, then you can kill them. With headshots, I think you still need 1 to have it a full-blown 1-shot kill headshot. The Sass 308 on the other hand, standard 1-shot headshot, okay. 1-shot body shot, no, not really. The 358 Winchester conversion, if I'm not mistaken the name of, is just a 1-shot at any distance. Which is, I have no idea why. It has a fast, I think fast fire rate, not fire rate but reload. It has a 50 fire rate, so you can like, oh, but these guns, yeah, but remember, this is my opinion. You have a different opinion, but in my opinion, the only opinion that matters, that to be honest, the Sass 308, the 358 conversion needs a nerf. Basically, decrease the multiplier just a little bit. That is, you have a chance to one-shot at closer distances, but not at the longer distances. If they fix that and not just make it, oh, you get hit across the map with it and it's still a one-shot kill to the body, yeah. Even like besides like the 50 cal or 20mm NTV 20, like if we ignore those snipers, aka the high power snipers that should one-shot at longer distances, comparing it even to them, the Sass 308 with the conversion is fucking mental. Like at closer distances, yes, if they miss, they're basically on a silver platter. But besides that, yeah, it needs the conversion needs a nerf. Speaking of nerfs, this doesn't need a nerf, it needs a buff. What gun is this? It's the Zip 22. And now I'm going to quote my good friend Iris and what he had to say about the Zip 22. It has a red shot, which is like mini pellets. Okay, you can turn it into a shitty shotgun. Okay, it has a pro mag, 50 round mag, high headshot multiplier. So the pro mag is the 50 round mag, and the high headshot multiplier, sure, but I would put it in S tier if it had like one-time headshot multiplier, but the pro mag with. Okay, I would put it in S tier if the pro mag made it that it has one-time multiplier, but it was full auto at like 500 rounds per minute, or its standard fire rate, whatever it is. It would just be hilarious, and I would put it genuinely in S tier because it would be so meme. But until that day, that's it, honestly. I've run out of I think there might be new handguns coming, but I don't follow Twitter. So yeah, that's my verdict for Zip 22. Just put full automatic conversion with the Pro Mag, and I would actually unironically use it. So that's all the handguns, from pistols to machine pistols to revolvers, and even the Sass 308 monster, whatever that shit is. That's all the handguns I rated. So if you enjoyed this, like, subscribe, comment how would you tier this differently. And I'll see you into next month when I finally decide, hey, I'm going to do PDWs. Bye bye.